Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Wednesday, February the 1st, 2023. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am here today to go over a very, very solid NBA DFS main slate. It's 8 games tonight. I'm also going to give away some tickets to some NBA action also. So I'm hoping we grab a bunch of people in here and we can get some winners together. We had a really strong night again last night, had some guys just blow it up, which is always awesome. Winners on all sites, which are always also very good. And just great stuff for our members. Really appreciate all of them. I will say, I know a lot of you were expecting our man Crash on here with us, but he was not feeling up to par. So hopefully he feels better. I know he's been super busy and he's got a youth group this evening. We want to get him healthy for that. So hopefully he's getting some rest, feeling a little bit better. And I know he'll be back, I'm sure, tomorrow. So great stuff. And then Friday, Deb's back into the mix and we got you covered here. So for those members that are on right now, I want to say hello. Thank you for being part of the Coach Talk family. Thank you for, just sticking with us. We love having you there long term. And again, our win percentage over the last 6 years is in the mid 60 percentiles. And that's for the sports that we provide. Specifically, we really feature NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball, and the PGA. Those are our 4 main definite sports. We also do some MMA and some NASCAR as well. Want to say hello to the first few people in here in chat and just allow everybody else to wander in here. It looks like Niles Simmons is the first one in today. So hello, Niles. Great that you're in here with us. Thank you for jumping in early. David Dulac, of course, my man, Double D. Great to see you. Got to see a picture David sent of him out on the court coaching the youngster. He's got a son out there playing. So best of luck, David. Keep coaching him up, and maybe we'll see him in the NBA sometime, man. Why not? Let's see here. Update app. David's all set. He's good to go. I know we're going to hope that Crash feels better right away. Absolute Power. How are you, my friend? Great to see you in here with us. Pain Blank SM, also known as Dead Presidents, one of our goats that's always in here. Thanks for the positive words there, David. We really do appreciate you. All right. Hopefully we get some more people filtering in here. If you're watching live on Twitter, please like and retweet. Get that out there so we can get some more people jumping in here to listen to our 8-game breakdown tonight. Also, if you haven't been a member here yet, you want to try us out. We had a few new people jump in there today. We've got a great deal going to test this out. $3 for 3 days. How's that? Real simple. You just jump in, go to dfscoachtalk.com, and you can sign up for a 3-day pass for $3 and see how it goes. And hopefully you'll have some big winners with us. We've been doing fantastic. Crash and Deb and Steven, our whole team, really proud of the whole group of them. All right, what else did we want to cover? Today we'll be going over a couple of things. Other than giving away those tickets, we're going to talk about ownership as we always do. We're going to break down all 8 games, game for game. We'll also have an opportunity here to really look at it and take a look at the injuries, how it's going to affect some of these lineups, how it banks up against ownership. We'll look at defensive efficiency, pace, some of the key factors that I look at when I'm building my lineups every day, and definitely want to share some of those with you. Doug L, also we know him as Doug W because of all the wins. Great to have you in there with us. Todd lives for Wednesdays back with us today. Great to see you, my friend. I hope you're feeling well. I think you had some health things that we needed to get you feeling good and going. So great to have you in here with us, and best wishes to you and your family. Hump Day is definitely NBA Slate vibes, positive day. We love it. King of all trades, appreciate that for sure. No doubt about it. Great, Todd. Great to hear that you're doing much better. All right, we're going to get after this. I do have to say one thing, though, because I'm still so happy about it. And I know it sounds like I'm bragging, but I'm not. But if you watch the podcast last Friday, with Deb and I predicted that the Eagles were going to win that game by 24 points. And I was real indignant about it. And they won by 24. So I just had to mention it because I know Crash is going to be checking this out. And it's going to make him so mad because he thinks I got lucky. But I get it. The quarterback got hurt, all that stuff. But the bottom line is I said Philadelphia, who was like a 2-point favorite, to win by 24, and they did. So all right, I won't talk about it, won't brag about it anymore, but it's just unusual to pick something right square on the nuts like that. But I'll take it, man. No doubt about it. All right. I love the slate tonight. We have nobody on the second night of a back-to-back. We have two teams on the first night of a back-to-back, and I think that will affect things on those two games because, and I'll just point those out right now. We've got Memphis, who's going to be playing a bit. They're on a first night of a back-to-back. Then they have to travel to Cleveland and play the Cavaliers. And that's right now two of the top teams battling. And, I think that you're going to see maybe a few minutes restricted back on a couple of the Grizz guys. So we'll talk about that when we get to the game. And then, of course, we never know what the hell Steve Kerr's going to do, if he's going to bench everybody, play everybody. Who the heck knows? But they're on the first night of a back-to-back in Minnesota, and then they have to go to Denver. So it's rough playing back-to-back nights on the road and being in the elevation. So there's no question he's going to bench a bunch of these guys. I'm thinking maybe tonight, or it could be tomorrow night. So if you're building anything around this Golden State Minnesota game, we have to have the news on that game. So be cognizant of that. Know that that's something we're going to be watching here at Coach Talk throughout. And it's something you have to keep an eye on because that whole game is going to shift. So that is Golden State at Minnesota, and then Golden State's at Denver tomorrow night. So we'll talk about that when we break that game down as well. If there are any questions throughout, please throw them right here in chat, and we will answer those questions for sure. And we'll get those out there. I think there's some good value. There's some good plays here, and really excited to see that. Kalani Coates, man, wow. How long has it been? I don't remember seeing you for a year or something like that. I can't believe it. So great to have you in here with us. We want to build a family, keep growing it, get everybody in here. Remember, you have to make some comments or ask some questions so that when I hit the randomizer to give away the 4 tickets, you're in here and the randomizer chooses out of chat. So it's not if you're just watching. You have to make a comment or say, hey, I'm here, whatever you want to say. I won $1 million on that Eagles by 24 play. Whatever it is, you can throw it out there. Sarugi W, there you go. There's the W that Doug L needs to borrow. Sarugi W is here. What's up, my friend? Great to have you in here with us. And now, Todd lives for Wednesdays for basketball. Make it official. And then Todd lives for baseball every day when that's coming up. Look at this. BFC, not BOC, BFC. Boy from Cali is in the building. The #1 guy on the rankings of the Coach Talk pros. We know that boy from Cali and D-Lux neck and neck for awesomeness without question. But I joke. Josh and Steven are up there as well. Bev, how are you? Great to see you in here with us. Also, let's keep getting some more folks in here. Let's give some tickets away and get some winners. I'm going to give two things away right off the bat. We had in our members chat, I mentioned that anybody that likes and retweets our posts on Twitter is going to be eligible for a drawing. And that winner is Lanny, my best bud, Lanny Job. Lanny Job, you've won a free ticket to tonight. Make sure to, I pretty much know it, but that's okay, Lanny. You can jump on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk and shoot me your PayPal email, and we'll get you that ticket for tonight. So congratulations. And members, if you remember, we're going to give away flash giveaway of tickets for anybody that likes and retweets. Just go to at DFS Coach Talk, or you can find me at Joe Sarvati. All right, first ticket. King Moses, what's up, man? Great to have you in here with us also. All right, the first ticket today goes to the one and only David Dulac. How is that possible? My man David Dulac grabs the first ticket, and we changed the rules a while back. You can win more than one ticket. Maybe David's just going to sweep the board, take all 4 of those tickets. But congratulations, David. You haven't won in a while, so that's fantastic to see. Yes, I love Lanny. Thank you, Doug, for giving him a shout out. He's always busy in our all of our stuff, so we love Lanny at Coach Talk. He was, by the way, one of our first 2 members 3 years ago to join Coach Talk. He and Jason Peters were the first 2 that joined on the same day. So we love Lanny, and look at that. He's in there active, retweeting. Gotta love it. All right, good group in here. So I've delayed long enough. Now we got to get after it. I did start earlier. There's just no way. I don't have the chops like Mr. Crash does to do it right under the gun live before lock like that. I like it because you get a lot of information and, all that stuff at the last minute. But it's just, I like to take my time. You guys know I'm a chatter, and I like to go through everything pretty in depth. I also like to answer any questions and take care of all of that stuff as we go. All right. One more thing I wanted to mention, and I'm trying to remember what it is now, and it escapes me. But let's dive in, and we'll go to game. Oh, I know what I was going to say. The one game was canceled, wiped off the board. It was a 9-game slate initially, but my kids tell me in Dallas they've shut the city down, and ice, snow, that kind of stuff, and there's no planes in or out. So teams couldn't get out. So that game got scratched, and we have an 8-game main slate on all 3, DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. And if you're new to Coach Talk, we do provide a core build for DraftKings, full lineups for FanDuel and Yahoo. All right, my friends, here we go. How about we take a quick look at any news that is dropped? And please do me a favor. And if I'm chattering and going a million miles an hour and looking at all my different boards here and news drops, somebody in, out, hurt, whatever the case may be, please let me know so that we can update that. Watanabe from the latest news is he is available to play tonight for Toronto, and he's been in their rotation and playing decent basketball. So let's keep an eye on him. I don't know why they post the information for Thursday when we don't care. DFS is about daily fantasy sports, not tomorrow's sports. So we don't know why that is. All the rest of the news is pretty much the same for the Wednesday information. Bryn Forbes questionable. If you're playing Bryn Forbes, then you need a new hobby. Jonathan Isaac ruled out for Wednesday. The news that we need: Joel Embiid questionable. I've got Trae Young is playing, so I think he's going to go, but he is only listed probable, so we'll confirm that. Stinking Rudy Gobert is now on the same plane with Anthony Davis and LeBron. He's listed questionable every single day. So not sure what to think there. He generally plays when he's listed questionable, but we'll follow that. One piece of big information is going to be Desmond Bane. It does change things for Memphis. We know that it's the first night of a back-to-back, and they have to play in Cleveland tomorrow. They're probably going to need Desmond Bane to guard Donovan Mitchell. So I've got a feeling he's not going to play. But that is still a questionable tag, and we'll follow that closely. Nurk looks like he's going to lace him up tonight for Portland. Another piece of information that's very important, and it's going to be important to my build on some of my lineups, is Wendell Carter Jr. is questionable. And if he sits, that brings Mo Wagner into play for me. He's been playing 20, 25 minutes, and we know that Mo Wagner is a point per minute guy. He definitely can fill it up, and he may be a great value spot if Carter does sit. It does bring some other guys into play, but that's the move that I would make. If Carter plays, then all bets off there. Josh Hart probable, Romeo Langford questionable. If other news falls, like I say, I'll be counting on you guys to let me know what it's looking like. All right, let's do a quick look at the ownership. Let's start it that way, because it's important today. There's a lot of split. Usually we've got 2 or 3 guys that are 50, 60% owned. I know it's an 8-game slate, but you still get usually 35, 40% owned guys where there's huge value or just a non-passable play that you can't avoid. So we don't have that today, though, thus far. Now, that may change as time goes and people are ruled in and out. But right now, I'm just going to give you a quick, you got to listen, you got to take notes, you got to click on guys, because I'm just going to sort of blow through these, but I will talk about all 3, DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. The projected ownership as of right now, we still have a little under 2 hours until lock, so that will change. But this group is all between 28 and 17%, and that's the whole top group of about 18 guys. So here they are: Jalen Noel, which is very interesting, Josh Hart, Trey Jones, Mr. Şengün, who's definitely, his price has gone up, but he just keeps performing. Isaiah Joe, Precious Achiuwa, Fox, Barnes, both from SAC. And then we've got Gobert, Herter, Banchero, Bridges, Anderson, Conley, Pirtle, and Joel Embiid at the big number 11-2. That's on DraftKings. Let's take a look also on FanDuel. Mr. Şengün has ticked over the 40% projected ownership mark, and he is the favorite now ownership-wise on FanDuel at 8,300. And the great thing about him is we know his upside. There's no doubt, and it's big. But he is center only on FanDuel, something to consider there. Then we've got one of my favorite value plays on the board, Eric Gordon. He's almost at 40% projected ownership. From there, Seth Curry. He burned a lot of people last time. I dodged that bullet. I am not a Curry backer. Trey Jones, Jayshawn Chait, Kenrich Williams, Bridges, Russell, Robert Williams, getting a lot of ownership, only 5,700 on FanDuel. Very tempting. Brogdon, Barnes, Sabonis, Trent Jr., Slow-Mo, Kyle Anderson, and Mike Conley. And then Anthony Edwards rounds out that top group. And the last one we'll look at is on Yahoo. We've got Eric Gordon, my value play, only $14. He's lock and load for me tonight, with the backcourt being shorthanded for Houston and that over-under being a big number. Then we have Anthony Edwards, $39, third highest owned at 27%. Seth Curry again, Van Vliet, Gobert, questionable, but again, a lot of people expect him to play. Cam Johnson, Keegan Murray, Simons, Achiuwa, Şengün, Brandon Clark, who's only $16, nice value there. SGA, 47 big bucks, but he's a monster. KJ Martin, Kenrich Williams, Chris Paul and D'Angelo Russell. All right, that gives you a good look at what we're working with there. Let's see if anybody has. Joe K. Let's go, Joe K. What is going on, my friend? I love having a big group in here. This is fun. This is JT taking a break. Justin Timberlake's in here with us, taking a break from tour again. He does that from time to time. We're big fans. We just need a couple more in here. I want to get this up a little bit higher. All right, game one. We went over ownership. We talked about injuries a little bit. Now we're going to dive into the games. And it's great not to have this hard stop on the backside to post lineups. I love it. All right, here we go, my friends. Are we ready? Game one, the Orlando Magic at the Philadelphia 76ers. We remember this from the day before yesterday. It was very strange, but somehow Philadelphia was up 25-9, somewhere in that neighborhood, if not the exact number, and they lost by 10. So they're not going to catch a sleeping Philadelphia team here because they Orlando just beat them. So this game is interesting. It's a 230.5 total, but it's at Philly. Philly's favored by 9. We were worried about the blowout last time, and it looked like that's what was going to happen. Is that going to happen this time? I have a tendency to think it may, and that definitely makes this game not my favorite game on the board by any stretch. Obviously, we need the news, but we'll have the news on Joel Embiid. He's listed as questionable. So if he's in, it's really a very easy no play for me. With Harris, Harden in there with Embiid against a team they could blow out in Orlando. I know Orlando just beat them. Just not going to go there. Orlando's 20-31, by the way. Philly's 32-17. So, decent size spread. 230 is not that great of a total today. We've got a lot of totals that surpass that, some by 15, 16 points. So, if Embiid does sit, though, that brings James Harden as a must play for me. It will shift my entire lineup if Embiid sits for some reason, because I'm going to have to work Harden in there. But as of right now, not going to go there. My problem with Orlando is the depth that they're playing. They're obviously, in the Wembanyama stakes. They want to get the first pick. They have a ton of young guys, but they're all sharing minutes. Fultz, Harris, Wagner, Banchero. If Carter plays, then they've got all that bench with Mo and, Isaac, who's out, and Okiki's out, but there's still a lot of depth on that squad, and they're playing a good 8 or 9 guys. So, lots of question marks here on, do you take a value play? I'm not going to go there. This is going to be a pass game for me, basically, unless Embiid and Carter sit. I may end up with Mo Wagner and James Harden from this game. But other than that, it's going to be a pass. So we'll follow the news, update me as we go if anything happens while we're in here, and we'll definitely adjust and move forward from there. All right. Let's see here. Go to game 2. How about game 2 is the Portland Trail Blazers at Memphis Grizzlies. Both of these early games are at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 4 Pacific. The Trailblazers 24-26, Grizzlies 32-18. Memphis is only a 5.5 point favorite, and it's a nice 239 total, which is very interesting. In this game, by the way, Portland is 23rd in pace. Memphis is 2nd. So major pace up for Portland, something to consider there. Portland is 24th defensively, so that is a plus for the Memphis side. But Memphis is 1st defensively. So even though it's a major pace up for Portland, it is a real tough spot defensively. And on top of that, Memphis is on the first night of a back-to-back, and they play at Cleveland tomorrow, as mentioned. So not my favorite game. It looks like it'll be Lillard, Simons, Hart, Grant, Nurkic against Morant. We don't know if Desmond Bane's going to go or not. Again, my gut thinks he sits. We know Brooks, Jackson, and Clark who is a good value, certainly an option there at center. We'll see who they plug in there at the second starting spot for Memphis. If that's a value spot and it's somebody that we're not expecting, then we'll keep an eye on that and plug that in. So having a little exposure here, I think, is probably a good idea. We know Dylan Brooks can be decent, especially when Desmond Bane sits and his price is dirt cheap, but he also can sting you really bad. So there's some risk there. I'd prefer going more to a Brandon Clark value, or if you're going to go on the other side of the ball, maybe a Josh Hart, decent price. Simons is a decent price. It is a big help if Bane sits for Damian Lillard, and he's been on fire. But I'm just not going to go there. I'm not going to spend up for Lillard or Morant, as awesome as they are. Just don't like the feel of it with Portland on a road trip, with Memphis having to go to Cleveland tomorrow night, and with defense being able to really be turned up on the Memphis side. So it's going to be more of a pass game for me, waiting on that news from Bane so that maybe we can get a value play in this game. In the first game, by the way, Orlando-Philly, I didn't mention it because it's not real impactful, but for those that want it, Orlando's 14th in pace, Philadelphia 22nd. So again, not exciting as far as rostering DFS-wise. Orlando, not that bad considering they're not a good team. They're 18th defensively. Philadelphia, always in the top 5. They are 5th. So just more of a reason to sort of ignore that game. All right. Let's go to game 3. Game 3 is the Brooklyn Nets 31-19 at the Boston Celtics 36-15. Boston, a pretty healthy 9-point favorite, only a 224 total. This is the low total on the board. Definitely not a game I'm excited to roster. Brooklyn's 20th and Boston's 18th in pace. Not good for DFS purposes, and also not good for DFS purposes. They are 7th and 6th defensive efficient teams in the NBA. So we need to, really look at this and decide, do you want to take that role? Kyrie Irving, the obvious play if you go that way. He hates Boston. Boston hates him. Boston's going to boom probably every time he touches the ball. That's generally what they do there. But he's not really, there's certain guys that just fold up a little bit and are affected by their surroundings, and guys that just get motivated by it. And you got to pick spots for people. Like yesterday, a big part of our key of winning, and I talked to Crash a little bit about this before lock. I decided to go with Hartenstein as my starting center just because they were playing the Clippers. And I felt the rookie that was starting was going to feel a little intimidated against LeBron and AD. Hartenstein doesn't care who he's playing. He's one of those mentality guys that, the better the player, good, he'll run through the wall to knock him over. So that was sort of the theory there. And that's a little bit of the psychological aspect of why I'm not playing Kyrie today. I just think that it gets to him a little bit. And does it tick him off? Yes. But he's also the kind of guy that if they chirp loud enough, and Boston fans, man, they're rough. They are maybe not Philly fans or New York fans, but they're not far behind him. They're right there. And they're going to give him some serious shit. And he is going to be hearing it and the booing. I just don't think it's the right setup. That's really my only reasoning. The rest of the squad, Claxton is just so highly priced right now, and Robert Williams is going to play. I think he's a future first-team all-defensive player, so I don't want to spend up for Claxton. And I'll tell you, if you put Curry, Harris, O'Neal, any of those guys in there, Watanabe, I think I said he was on Toronto earlier. I meant Brooklyn. I don't know. I may have misstated that. But, that is really difficult. Now, yes, Durant, we know, is out, but Simmons and TJ Warren are out. So it's tempting to want to go to those guys. And I know O'Neal's had 2 decent games in a row, but I just don't think you have to do it. There's other value. Those 3 players are scary. They can ruin your lineup. And I'm just not going to go there. So I'm passing on Brooklyn for that reason. And then Boston is just, it makes it difficult. Yes, Marcus Smart is out. So what does that do? Does that make you really fly to a Boston guard? Not for me, because you've got Brogdon, White, and Jaylen Brown. And they're all going to play. They're going to share minutes. But they're going to, relent to Jason Tatum, who's the leader on that squad. He'll grab some Royce O'Neal defense, who's a dog defensively. Horford, inconsistent. Williams, super cheap. Maybe the value play you can play here. That would be the only guy that would have a shot at my lineup. But again, you just don't know how many minutes or what type of activity you're going to get from him. And Claxton is a shot blocker as well. So, I'm just not going to go there. This is going to be my scratch off game completely, unless Robert Williams at the low salary gets into one of the lineups. But for every other reason, I think that is a good pass situation. All right, let me check Discord real quick. Jeff Zernajewski. How are you, my friend? Jeff, great to have you in here with us, my friend. I hope I didn't smash that name too bad. I am from Western Pennsylvania, where everybody is initially, that's where I was born and raised, and everybody's Polish or Italian. So there's a lot of SKI names. So Shrinajeski is the best I can get. So hopefully that's right, my man, Jeff. But thanks for joining us as well. I am going to give away a second ticket. I do, Doug L., I know Brogdon can be an absolute monster, but man, that's a lot of shared usage with, not just with White and Brown in the backcourt, but with Tatum and Williams and everybody in there. So I get it, but I'm just not going to dive into it. All right, our second ticket, again, if I call your name, jump on on Twitter. And we're at DFS Coach Talk, and just DM me your PayPal email, and we'll get that ticket out to you. The winner of ticket number 2 is Todd Lives for Sundays. How about that? My man Todd. He hasn't won in a while, but he's won now. So congratulations, Todd. Okay, go ahead with the Polish jokes. He just posted that right after he's the winner. So we're not going to do any Polish jokes because my 3 kids are half Polish. So I can't make Polish jokes about my own kids. And the half Polish did not come from me, just for the record. I will state that, but that's cool. All right, man, here we go. The next game on the docket, Oklahoma City Thunder and the Houston Rockets. And guess what? This is my favorite game on the board, and it's not the highest score. I like this game a lot. And, I should say it's tied. I have this game in Sacramento, San Antonio as my 2 favorite games. It's the Thunder 24-26. Still, just I shout out that team all the time because I think that the Dagnall's done the best job of any coach in the league. Maybe the Memphis coach, Jenkins, is right with him. Houston, though, 12-38, definitely in the Wembanyama. Can you imagine Wembanyama with the youngsters that they have? Green and Porter and Smith and Şengün. Whew. To be a Rockets fan in the future could be huge because don't forget, nobody's talking about it anymore that much because it was a big fuss at the beginning. Wembanyama is the best player that I've seen come out in the NBA draft since LeBron James. I'm serious. He's that good. He's a knockdown three-point shooter, 7'4" with a wingspan of insanity, and he can do everything. He can handle the ball, finish, rebound. I mean, I'm telling you, this is the guy that you want to target everything at getting if you're in the NBA. And I think that's what Houston's trying to do. So we'll find out if they can do it. We know Green and Porter are out for Houston. We talked about that, and that's what changes the whole mix there. Dort, Pokachevsky, and JRE are out for Oklahoma City. OKC is a 6.5-point road favorite. Hats off to OKC. I don't think I've said those words. OKC, a 6.5-point road favorite, like maybe since the big boys were there, Harden and Durant and Westbrook, for crying out loud. It is a 232.5 number, so it's a decent number. Looks like it's going to be SGA, Giddy Wiggins, Jalen Williams, with Jalen, not Jay, the Jal, who's the better Williams, and then Kenrich Williams, who I like Kenrich Williams. He's a sneaky little fill-in guy that can get it done for you. Then it looks like Houston may go with Knicks, Gordon, Martin, Jabari Smith, and Şengün. I think Şengün is wildly popular, and he deserves to be, but his price is way up, so you got to consider it price-wise, but I think he's a great play, probably the top play on Houston today. I love Eric Gordon. I know people say, why Eric Gordon? Well, he's not afraid to get up shots, and when there's not many shooters in here, Knicks isn't going to shoot it that much. The guys coming off the bench, KJ Martin, he's an inside dunker. Jabari Smith, more of a mid-level interior player. I mean, Şengün's going to get a bunch of shots up, and I think Eric Gordon gets a bunch of shots up. I love this game. I like both of those players here on the Houston side. That's really where I'm going to focus. On the OKC side, I've got to make some decisions. I have to see what's going to happen here. SGA certainly a tremendous play today. I don't think he's getting the ownership he deserves. He is really a strong play. As of right now, he's not in my build because I'm going with a couple of other studs that I'll talk about here shortly, but it could change. He's right on that bubble. He's the kind of guy that could lead the slate in DFS points, so we have to be, really watch that. Lots of value here on the OKC side, and you can't get a better matchup than Houston. In this game, OKC is 4th in pace. Houston is 13th. And then defensively, OKC, a reasonable 11th. Houston's 3rd worst in the league. So if you're not going to pay up for SGA, Giddy's certainly a mid-level price guy that's worth it. After that, it's value city. Big bargain here. Aaron Williams, Jalen Williams, Jalen Williams, that is, and Kenrich Williams. I think those guys are all playable commodities. I really do. Not more than one of them probably, maybe 2 at the very most, but you really are shaking it loose. I would say if you're going to play SGA, play one of the value guys, come back with Gordon and Şengün on the other side. If you want to make this your key game of the day. And I'll have a good chunk of my exposure to this Thunder Rockets game and then the Sacramento San Antonio game later. Those will be two key plays for me. So I think this game is going to be stuff that you have to have. You have to have exposure to this game, I think, to cash or crush it. A couple things. Rico Harris. Rico, how are you, my friend? Awesome to have you in here with us. Doug L with the super chat. All right, Doug L. Thank you, my friend. Remember, every single penny of anybody that super chats us and donates, it all goes to charity. And we have a charity chosen. We don't for February. How about that? So here we go. This is awesome part about being in a live podcast. We've got a lot of people in here. So since we have a new month today, and we have not chosen the charity, everybody that's in here, if you have a favorite charity, let's put it in chat, and we will choose our charity for the month. So anything that goes in as a super chat, all of February will go to the charity that we select from one of our wonderful listeners or members here today. So definitely throw that in there. And thank you so much, Doug. I would have not even thought about it. Don't forget, if you want to try us out and you're listening, you haven't been a member here, why not now? $3 for 3 days. And you just go to dfscoachtalk.com. I will put that right now into the chat so that we have that for anybody that wants to check us out. And then just choose the 3 day, $3, and we'll get you a nice little bankroll to work with and go from there. Rico Harris recommends the Boys and Girls Club. I played and then coached a lot in the Boys and Girls Club as I was growing up. So we are sold. Easy sell, Rico. You're the first one to respond. I love that charity. So anything that goes in as a super chat in the month of February goes to the Boys and Girls Club. They are fantastic. All right. We continue forward. We get to the next game. Now it's an 8 p.m. Eastern, as is that Oklahoma City and Houston game. And then the Sacramento-San Antonio game is also at 8. So we have 3 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. All right. Golden State 26-24, Minnesota 27-26. Golden State, the fastest team in the league. Minnesota, the 5th fastest team in the league. So that definitely gets your attention. Golden State only 16th defensively, surprising. And Minnesota 10th. Not a lot of people would expect Minnesota to be better defensively than Golden State, but that is the case. As of now, there's no crazy news from Coach Kerr. Looks like maybe tomorrow night may be the night he sits everybody in Denver in the elevation. But as of now, it's the regulars. Curry, Poole, Thompson, Wiggins, Green. And then Iguodala is out for Minnesota. It looks like it's going to be Russell, Edwards, McDaniels, Anderson, and then probably Gobert. He's listed questionable. If not, Naz Reid will step into that spot and then become certainly an option, value option. But, so far Gobert's been playing when he's listed questionable, and we'll assume that that's the case. Forbes and Prince also questionable for Minnesota. McLaughlin and Cat obviously out. So we've got a lot of pace, decent defense here, and we've got a nice big 238 total. You're going to be surprised here. This isn't my top game or in the top 2, as I mentioned, and I think it's going to be super popular. People are going to go to Curry like crazy. I think you're going to see, some Clay and Draymond because, Minnesota definitely plays fast enough and is not, the best defensive team, although they're 10th, which is respectable, but that depends if Gobert's in or not. I get it on Golden State. I don't blame you, but I just don't want to pay the price for Poole. Don't quite trust Thompson. I know Clay's been getting 20-plus shots up a game. It's just, again, I just am not in the Clay camp just yet. Wiggins, sporadic. Draymond, a little better since he's been playing starting at center since they benched Looney. I do think Kerr has the best lineup. I like the Kerr, Poole, Thompson, Wiggins, Green lineup better. But, Green could be a decent play. Again, if Gobert's in or not will affect some of that also. But I'm not going there. I don't blame you if you do. On the Minnesota side, I have my favorite pay-up guy on the slate. I have 2 of them equal. Edwards. Anthony Edwards is playing great basketball. I like him against the fastest-paced team in the league. I'm not afraid to pay his money. I think that the fact that his price is so high now is scaring people a lot. On DraftKings, he's 9.8. On FanDuel, he's 9. I can't see. Got to look under the glasses to see. He's 9.5. So, yeah, it's bad being old. And then on Yahoo, he's $39. So I like the fact that he's a little pricey. And I like the fact that he's a little pricey because I don't want the ownership to be pricey. I think he's got a fantastic chance to be a top 3 scorer on this entire slate, bar nobody. And I'm really high on Ant tonight. I like him against Golden State, and I think he's going to light it up. I think he's going to be motivated to play against, some of his heroes in, certainly in Steph and Clay and company. So I am on the Ant train today, and I know a couple of podcasts ago I was whining about him because he does take some games and plays off at times. I just don't think it happens tonight. He's playing great. He's healthy, and I like the pace and team he's going against. So that is a big focus for me today for sure. All right. Other than that, in that game, slow-mo may be a decent play. He's really can stuff the stat sheet at times. Not sure I'm going to go there, but that's really what I'm looking at. Again, if Naz Reid starts, if Gobert sits, certainly a capable value play that you can go with because he'll get decent minutes. But I expect Gobert to play personally. All right, let's get on to the next one. It is the last game at that 8 o'clock time frame, and then we have a 9 and a 10 Eastern game to finish the slate. It's the Sacramento Kings and San Antonio Spurs. Sacramento's 28-21. The Spurs are 14-37. Sacramento, a 7.5-point road favorite, which isn't bad. Nice 244 number. So we do have a winner from Vegas, and it is the 244 total of the San Antonio Spurs and Sacramento Kings. I do love this game as well for good reason. They are 6th and 7th as far as pace. Gotta love that. And they are 21st and 30th. Spurs dead last defensive efficient team in the league. Again, how do you not have exposure to this game and expect to take anything down? I just think you got to suck it up. Expect that OKC Houston and the Sacramento San Antonio games to be key components of your build. And I'll probably have 2/3 of my lineup, maybe 3/4, whatever, somewhere in there, built from these two games. I just think it's obvious. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Tonight, I think it is pretty obvious. No injuries for Sacramento. Richardson probable for the Spurs, Vassell out, and Langford questionable. Who do I like here? Well, my other favorite pay-up play of the day is Domantas Sabonis. I'm going with Sabonis at center. Come hell or high water, I'm expecting Ant and Sabonis at fairly low ownership compared to some of these other chalk guys and some of the other pay-up guys. So now Ant's getting, a lot more. I shouldn't say he's not as popular. I mean, 25% or so, somewhere in that neighborhood. But, Sabonis, I think because he's so pricey, not getting the love that I think he should get. I think he's going to smash tonight. It's a smash spot against a terrible defensive team. They are pathetic. So I'm not going to read you all the stats, just going to continue to drive that home. Wendell Carter Jr., game time decision Wednesday. Well, thanks for nothing. I appreciate that update. It's like getting no update whatsoever. So we'll keep an eye on that to see if we can get a little Mo Wagner, value if he sits. But it's not looking promising. I would think they would have. Usually when he's hurt, they get him out of there sooner than that. So he may very well play. All right, so back to that game. Again, I'm going Sabonis all in, 100% owned, and I believe that he's going to have a big game against this San Antonio front court. As far as the secondary play, I like either the value of Harrison Barnes or Keegan Murray. Either guy I think is a great play. Kevin Huerter, not bad either. Don't have the cash to buy up to Fox. Don't want all the chips in with Fox and Sabonis. So more than likely a Sabonis and one of the value plays, probably rank a Murray, Barnes, Huerter at this point. For the Spurs, I like the point guard here. I like Trey Jones. I love the pace that Sacramento plays at. And I just think it's a great spot for Trey. He's cheap for the minutes he's getting. I expect him in, low 30s minutes. I think he's, again, you can't get a much better spot for a real good value. And, again, you're not going to get, the top 8 performers on the entire slate with your picks. You've got to, if you're going to buy up for the Sabonis and Edwards, you've got to find some value in guys like a Trey Jones or an Eric Gordon or guys like that. So that's always what I'm going to throw forward here is the reality of it. Everybody can jump on here and say that, I love Sabonis and Keldon Johnson here. I love Ant, D'Angelo Russell, Curry, and that's not real. So we're real here at Coach Talk. We're going to help you build which you need to build, and we're going to build it within the constraints of, unfortunately, salaries. And that's part of the fun of DFS and figuring out how to build those winning teams. Keldon Johnson, Doug L, is definitely a commodity that I've looked at. Not crazy about the price, but certainly if I was going to go to a second guy out of the entire San Antonio team with Jones, it would be Keldon Johnson. I had said, quite often when Vassell sits, play Johnson. Well, Vassell's been out for a while, and Keldon's really come into his own as far as, taking over the leadership of the team. However, the rookie Jeremy Sochan has also played really well and is getting monster minutes. What a shocking pick that was to be a successful player in the draft. Somebody that I didn't think was a great draft pick, and he's proven me wrong. He's played great. So Jones, Johnson, Sochan would be the San Antonio side of the coin here. All right, 9 p.m. We've got the Toronto Raptors 23-29 against the Utah Jazz that are 500. They're 26-26. Anunoby's out because they're trying desperately to trade him, and I expect him to be moved soon. We've got to start following this news too. We're getting closer to the deadline for the NBA trade deadline and the All-Star break. That's when we have historically, like 5 years going, the week or two before the NBA trade deadline and like the week after, as everybody's adjusting and moving around, that like 3-week span has, and we historically keep everything here at Coach Talk, that's been, other than the playoffs, our regular season hottest spot of the season, because I think other people aren't adjusting. They can't just throw everything into an optimizer, spit out the lineup, and just play that lineup and feel as good about it, because all those parts have shifted. There's different combinations, different usage. We look at all those aspects of things here at Coach Talk when we're building those lineups for you. So that is something you want to definitely follow. This is a great time to be a part of what we're doing, because we're getting close to that time frame. And again, that is our highest win percentage in the low 70s over the last 5 years. So definitely you are here at the right time of the year. All right, as far as pace here, Toronto's slow at 24, Utah 12th. Defensively, though, not good. Toronto 19th, one of the worst defensive Nick Nurse teams. He wants to blow this team up. From what I've heard, I think a bunch of these guys go. I think Van Vliet goes. I think Anunoby, a couple other guys as well. So we will see. On the Utah side, they are 25th. So considering they were a top 10 team when they got off to that fast start, they have gone downhill quickly. Looks like it'll be Van Vliet, Trent, Barnes, Siakam, and Achua against Conley, Clarkson, Markkanen, Olynyk, who's back, and Walker Kessler, who's been a pleasant surprise as well. It becomes a couple of things. Josh Hart available to play Wednesday. Okay, so that makes him definitely more playable. We'll talk about him shortly. You can't play everybody. And again, I'm going to build 2/3 or 3/4 of my team from 2 of the games. And this game gets lost in the shuffle. I don't think it's a terrible game. 230 is not the worst total, but, it's just hard. Mike Conley's my favorite play out of this game. I have not played Conley much, but he's dirt cheap. And if I go with Trey Jones and Mike Conley as my point guards, it saves me enough money to get to where I need to be in my other spots. It allows me not, just to play Edwards, Sabonis, and then have to just dump everybody else. I still can get to the Şengün's or a Sochan, maybe even a Keegan Murray. He's cheaper as well. Guys like that, I think you can mix them in there by, saving a little bit of money here and get guys, all my guys that I'm playing today, I expect to play 30 plus minutes. That's one of the things I look at when I'm building a lineup. Minutes equal money in my mind. I think we need really to put, you got to put guys in there. They're going to get the big minutes. It's that simple. I do want to say hello to a few people in chat. Damo, D-A-M-O, what's up, man? I don't remember seeing you in here. Might be your first time exposed to Coach Talk. So we really do appreciate you and welcome you to the family. Love to have you in here with us. Also, Wild Style Federation. I'm the worst at that, man. I'm the one that called Todd Lives for Sundays Todd Live for Sunday. So Wild Style Z Federation. There we go. How's that, man? He likes Precious and Van Vliet. Yeah, I get it. They are showcasing Van Vliet because they want to move him. So not the worst play. He's just costly, but not, price is a little bit better on some of the sites. Certainly a consideration. Precious as a cheaper big, he has certainly paid off his price a lot of times. So I'm with you. I think that I don't think either one of those are bad. You can't play everybody. Doug L looks like a Doug W, man. Gordon and Trey Jones are two of my key plays tonight as well. Yes, Double D. I do think minutes equal money. And, if it's close for me and I'm going to get a guy 23 to 25 minutes that has a higher projection, and I get a guy 30 to 33 minutes that I think has a decent ceiling, just not projecting as well, I like to go to the better minutes. A lot of it has to do with matchup, defensive efficient teams, pace, all of those things. But I do have a tendency, I feel better when I know that my whole squad out there, I can sit back and say, these guys are going to get 30 to 40 minutes across the board and, give you a run. The ball can bounce your way. It happens. I mean, you can be standing out there and ball hits you in the head and you catch it. So it can happen. No doubt about that. All right. Let's continue forward. So great. Welcome to the family, guys. And let's give away the third ticket right now. Let's push the button, give away the third ticket. We still got a little ways to go here and don't want to cut that short. So the winner of the third ticket, I'm going to push the button. It is one of our new people. I mean, I swear to you, I hit this and it's random and it just grabs somebody in there. So Damo, you are pretty Damo lucky. And I have a lot of good comedian lines that I can just, pull up there. No, my kids tell me I'm absolutely not funny at all, but I think it's hilarious. So Damo, welcome to the family. Boom, you got a ticket. If you just joined and didn't hear earlier, if you go to Twitter at DFS Coach Talk and just DM me your PayPal email, we'll send you that ticket so you can get some action on tonight's games. So there we go. 3 winners down, 1 winner to go. And we've got another game that we want to tackle here. And it is the last game on the slate. Atlanta Hawks, who have fallen below 500 at 25 and 26. Phoenix barely over 500, but they've been crippled with injuries most of the year. They're 27 and 25, certainly not what people expected. Phoenix favored by 1. So this is basically a toss-up game. 232.5 total, which is wonderful. Nice little total. Certainly not the 244 that we got on the other game, but still very reasonable. So how much exposure here are we going to have? Well, guess what? I don't think I'm going to have any. And it sucks. I know people say, well, you don't want that last game. It's an hour after every other game, and then you got to sit. You know what? If you're new to us, or if you heard me say this a million times, you have to check everything at the door when you do DFS. Don't look at the times of the game. You got to follow news throughout the night if there are any changes, but don't let the time of the game affect you. It doesn't matter in DFS. If you play all the guys in the first game, all the guys in the last game, whatever, that doesn't affect it. That makes no effect for DFS. It's nice to be able to root and say you have this guy, that guy, but that's in the long run, it's going to sting you. Trust me. If the game's a TV game, I have a tendency to fade it more because it's going to get extra ownership. Everybody wants to watch their players, root for them. So just, the common sense things of being a long-term DFS winner, you just can't let those things get to you. Obviously, check it at the door. There's been times I play Luka, times that Luka's a dead fade, and I'm a Mavs fan. Luka's my favorite player. So you just check all that stuff. I know this is redundant for people and the pros that are in here. It's like, what? But some people just need to hear that, because they'll be between 2 or 3 guys, and they'll say, oh, I'll take the late game guy. So I have somebody in that late game. Just as the differentiator, don't let that, be the fact. Let it be the projections, whatever you're pulling from your optimizer or personal lineups, or if you're in our Discord, our members lineups, that's the way you want to go. So off my soapbox there. Trae Young is going to play, in my opinion. He's probable. I think he's in. That definitely just punches DeJounte Murray right in the you-know-what, because he's such a great play when Trae sits. We all see that every time. But when he's back, it's tough because they split usage. There's no question about it, and they're both expensive. So I'm not going to go there. I do, even though Phoenix's defense doesn't show that it's very good. Paul, Bridges, Craig, Ayton, those guys can defend. And so I'm not going. I'm passing on Atlanta. I don't believe in Capella anymore. I hate John Collins. And as Deb and I will tell you, DeAndre Hunter is dead to us. I know I just preached about forgetting about everything else. Take this game. I don't care. DeAndre Hunter's dead to us. We had takedowns all over the board, and he ran around the court like chicken with his head cut off, just running the corners, doing nothing. And I hate him. But I just don't like the matchup either for them. So Atlanta's a pass. Unless Trae miraculously sits, then DeJounte Murray's got to be in there. If not, pass. Chris Paul's real popular because his price isn't up that high. I'm not going to quite go there. I do respect DeJounte Murray defense. I think he guards him. He's a stud. Now, if it gets flipped around and Trae has to guard him and DeJounte guards Mikal Bridges, then I'm going to be chewing my nails off, because I think he may just crush him. So I think we need to keep an eye on the news, keep an eye out on everything in Discord if you're a Coach Talk member, because that could shift some things. But as of right now, I'm not going to look to go there. I think Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, decent plays. The price is not bad, especially on Cam. I think that value is playable without question. Not going to go to the Torrey Craig thing. I know he hit some threes and different stuff. I don't like him. And, Ayton against the Capella, a fresh Okongwu and Collins, just the bigs inside, not the play for me. So very little exposure, if any, maybe a value spot in the last game, but that is it for me. All right. I think that breaks it down. Let me see. Any other... I do think SGA is a great play. I don't know if I can afford them, but it's possible. I agree with you. Ant and Sabonis, my top 2 favorite buy-ups. Any other questions from anybody in here before we give away that last ticket? That's all 8 games, a complete breakdown. And I don't know if I mentioned it in that last game, Atlanta's 9th in pace, Phoenix is 21st. And defensive efficiency-wise, Atlanta 20th, but Phoenix is 9th. So even though they're only 500, they are in the top 10 defensively. Zach Collins on FanDuel, not going to go there, Doug, just because we have enough value. And then more value is going to open. I think that it's going to give us spots that we don't have to really, shaking our boots about that. So, any other questions for the last ticket we're going to give away here? You are welcome, Todd. Great to hear that you're feeling better, man. Ty, how you doing, man? Thanks for being in here with us. All right, the last ticket, and then I'll let you get on your way, and I'm going to start working on lineups for our family. We've got Crash tomorrow if he's feeling better. Hopefully he is. And then Deb, I know she sells out fills the room all the time. Everybody loves Deb's breakdown on the Friday slate. She'll be here for sure. All right, the winner of the third and our fourth ticket, or actually 5. We gave one away to Lanny as well. So we're ticket giveaways. Emerson Baby Gap shirt. How the heck? Emerson, coach, you got some prize pick faves. He makes a comment. I hit the randomizer button. It goes right to him, and Emerson's Baby Gap shirt wins the 4th ticket on the buzzer. That was like within 1 second of me hitting that randomizer. So pretty wild, man. So congratulations to all of our winners. Again, jump on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. Please like and retweet our stuff. We appreciate all of you. Love that we had a big group in here today. Appreciate all of our family in here. DFS Coach Talk, as you can see there, 3 days, $3. Give us a try, and we would love to have you. So thank you so much. Enjoy the basketball games tonight. I know that I will for sure. You guys are the best, and appreciate all of you, man. Love you. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow for Crash Friday, Deb. I'll be back with you in a week or so. I'm still sporadically coming in and out on the podcasts, but I'll jump in there with Deb and then try to get in there with Crash as well. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll be back tomorrow when we look to crush it in NBA DFS.